Dare to be your extraordinary self in a world that suffocates its own magnificence. Realize what restricts us so that consciousness can breathe. Welcome, dear ones. I am Sonia, your host and the creator of the Treasure Is You podcast. Realizing that consciousness is emerging its infrastructure network of illusion. We are the architects, spiraling in our own legacy throughout the infinity, bearing witness, reflecting, and visualizing this unadulterated existence into a manifested reality. Life is infinite, and so are you, and this is The Treasure Is You. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing today? I hope everyone is enjoying their day because it is such a great time just to be aware of this beautiful life that we are all engaging in. So, today in this podcast, it will be a continuation of my last podcast, continuing with the portion of In a World That Suffocates Its Own Magnificence. Release what restricts us so that consciousness can breathe. Yes, dear ones, that title is most certainly describing what humanity is experiencing on a day-to-day basis. We fail to realize that we are suffocating our own magnificence because of the journey. So yes, I would just like to say that one of the ways that we suffocate our own magnificence is by listening to others. Now, of course, we all can receive advice from people. That is not what I'm speaking of. I am speaking of totally disregarding your own internal guidance to receive guidance from an outside source that really does not know what you truly need. The only person who truly knows what you need is you. You are your best advocate for yourself, for your well-being in life. You are it. So that is one thing in which I'm speaking of, is not even allowing your own internal guidance to guide you and to lead you to wherever you need to be led, right? That is what I'm speaking of. And I can just say that when we listen to others, I'm breaking it down into different categories. I'm going to go down a list of different systems in our world. These systems in place are the systems that shape our society, our beliefs. And one is the educational system. Another is our medical system. Another one is our religious system. We have our family. That's a dynamic that we listen to as children, a part of our developing as a productive person in society. And we have our occupational system, which it can instill a rigid way of being, which causes a change in the chemistry of our brain, because due to the hard and harsh, cold environments that disturb our natural way of being. Yes, these environments that are rigid, because I know I have been in several rigid environments in my occupation. Yes, and it literally causes a change in the chemistry of our brains. This rigid way of being really changes the chemistry to become hard, harsh, cold, and to be disconnected from our original state of being. When we experience this rigid way of being on an everyday basis, this is what causes ourselves to lose ourselves. We lose our original essence because of the rigid environment that we are experiencing every single day. And that is what causes a disturbance, because it is a disturbance in our entire vessel, into our mind, our emotions, our body. It is a disturbance within. So if you, like I know for myself, if you are in an environment that is hard and harsh and cold, then you will most certainly be affected, because we as humanity, we are sentient beings. We feel, we sense. If you are in an environment that is cold and hard and harsh, as I said, you will feel it. And I can just share with you that in my previous occupation, I most definitely was in a cold and harsh environment, and my health was declining because of the harsh environment that I was in every single day, not being able to see the sun, not being able to see nature. I didn't realize it then at the time. It really does affect you. And I did like, to a certain extent, what I was doing, but it was the environment. The environment for me was very harsh. And yeah, my health was truly declining because I was not making time for myself. I had invested more than half of my time at this place that I was working. Yeah, I invested more. I would have to be at this place that I worked at 5 in the morning, and it was like 5 to 2:30. But most of the time, because this place was very busy, I would not leave that place until, let me see, it would be 4:30, sometimes 5:30, sometimes 6:30, because the place in which I was working was very busy. So think about it. I'm getting up at 5 in the morning. I'm supposed to get off at 2:30, but most of the time I didn't. I did overtime most of the time because, as I said, this place was very busy, very busy. So I was working like 14-hour days. So for me, I was giving so much to this occupation. I was giving so much to the job. And when I was doing that, I was forgetting myself. That's why my health was not at its best, because I had invested in a place that was harsh and cold and did not serve who I was. And eventually I had to walk away from that job. And it's a good thing that I did walk away, because who knows if I would still be here, or if I would be, sick or ill because of that environment. Now, we are very adaptable. So, of course, I adapted to that environment like we all do adapt to our surroundings. But it comes to a certain point where we definitely, every single day, we have to make time for ourselves so we do not suffocate our own magnificence. So that's an example to you guys how I was most definitely suffocating my own magnificence, because I was investing so much of my time, my energy, in a place that was not truly serving me. It just served me in a capacity to pay my bills, right? But we are supposed to be living and enjoying life, not just working, and then nothing else. And that is what I was doing. So I listened to my internal guidance and walked away from that job and never looked back. And ever since then, things have been looking up for me. My health has improved, and I am now in a place where I can see the sun, because let me tell you, I didn't see anything. I didn't see the sun. I didn't even see people. I mean, I saw the people that I worked with, but it was just not a good environment for Sonya. So that is what I'm speaking of, dear ones. So, I definitely made the best out of it, the best that I could. But as I said, when it comes to your health, and you have to put yourself first. That is what I did. I most certainly put myself first, and it was the best thing that I can do for myself. And ever since then, I can tell you that I can most certainly breathe now. I can breathe. When I was at that job, I could not breathe. I was literally suffocating myself from that job. So now I can pause. I can just inhale and exhale. Yes, and I can feel my heart, and I can feel peace. No, I didn't feel peace when I was there. It was very busy and very rush, rush, rush. Everything was rush. Everything. Like I had to be in 3 places at one time. And how is that possible? How can I be in 3 places at one time? That's how this place was. It was really busy. So I can now breathe. I can most definitely breathe now. I can sit back and relax and breathe and look at the sun and take a breath, because when you can't breathe, dear ones, that are those environments that are rigid. They impede our life force energy. And our life force energy, it is what gives us life. So yes, being in those rigid environments, it impedes our life force energy. It literally lessens our life. So we have to be aware of what is good for us, not just on one aspect, but the complete spectrum of who we are, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, not just physically. See, we look at things just physically. We have to look at the whole spectrum, because if we do not take care of ourselves, take care of our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, our spiritual body, then we will be lacking, and this is what will cause a disturbance, because there's not a balance. So we need to be aware of that. And this is what is beautiful, is that eventually our will to live. Now, our will, dear ones, which is our willpower resides in our solar plexus. Now, our solar plexus is a energy vortex that is within our body. It's an energetic vortex that spins, and it filters out energies that we don't need all day long. Our solar plexus is a chakra, and that solar plexus is our will. Our solar plexus is our willpower. So when our willpower is imbalanced, that is when we have a disturbance, because we are not supposed to have imbalances in our chakras. No, but we do, because of the disturbances. But our willpower, like I said, is we get it from our solar plexus chakra, and that solar plexus chakra is our vitality. It is a natural raw solar energy that gives us vitality. Why do you think our trees, our flowers, our birds, all of nature thrive? Because of our solar energy, because it gives all of nature vitality. It is what makes our trees green. It is what makes our birds fly in the sky, because the beautiful sun gives life, gives vitality to everybody. So our willpower, dear ones, that is our solar plexus. It has to be balanced. It has to be open, so it can filter out all of the things that we do not need to be within our mental bodies and our emotional bodies. It filters it out. Now, we have 7 chakras. We have 7 chakras on the body, 7 main chakras. There's many, many more chakras. And every chakra has a purpose. It is a part of us. It is what keeps us balanced. It is a part of our energetic system that helps us thrive and helps us to get through our day. It helps us to make decisions and to be clear in our mind. So we are more, as I always state in this podcast, we are more than this physical body. So our willpower is connected to the solar energy. As I said, that's why if you go outside, you feel so good, because that's vitality from the sun. And just think, sometimes when it's raining and you don't see the sun for a couple days, you might feel sad. Yeah, you might feel sad because you don't see that sun, It's not bright, it's not shining. But when that sun comes out, oh yes, you are going to feel a difference. Take notice of that. So our solar plexus, as I said, is a part of the sun, the solar energy, which is our vitality. This gives us our life force energy. It helps us to succeed in life. It helps us to move through life efficiently. Yeah, it helps us with so many things. When we have things that we want to create, our will helps us to accomplish these things. So when your solar plexus is balanced and strong, this is where your extraordinary self is front and center. It is front and center and ready to be and to do, because your solar plexus chakra is balanced. We have to be balanced in life. We really do. And when we are not balanced, this is when we all at times feel sad. We feel disconnected. We're really never disconnected, but if you believe that you're disconnected, that is what happens, because we are our thoughts, and that is what happens. So my dears, we have to be aware of these environments. We have to be aware of the beliefs that we have right now, not from the past. What do you believe right now? You can change your life around right now by adding to your daily routine self-care practices to help you maintain a balance within your mind, your body, and your spirit. We all need to add routines for self-care, because self-care is one of the most important things for each of us. We all need to incorporate routines for self-care. And when we do that, that is when we will be able to open up other doors so we can live a healthy life. We can have a healthy mind. We can have a strong body. Our emotions will be balanced. When we invest in ourselves with self-care practices to help us become our extraordinary self, then you will be more joyful, you will be happy, and you will be able to see clearly in all things. So we most definitely, if you are in a rigid environment like I was, you will at some point in time with your internal guidance be able to perceive it in a different way, just to help you get through whatever it is. If it's not agreeing with you at all, your higher self will be able to help you, guide you to another job, or just guide you. You can still be at the same job, but have a different perception about the job. Yeah, if we change our perception, we can literally change the environment that we're in just like that if we perceive it in a different way. If we perceive it in a way that's going to serve us, then yes, you can absolutely do that. And then, of course, if that's still not working, then, of course, find another environment that's more suitable for you, because you come first. You definitely come first, because if you don't put yourself first, then that's when we end up sick. That's when all these things happen, because we don't put ourselves first. That's where self-care comes into place, is that we have to invest and put ourselves first and make time for ourselves so we do not get sick, and so we can be our extraordinary self every day. Every day. You know, we can't invest in occupations that do not feed our soul, that do not feed that love energy, so we can be healthy and so we can have a state of well-being. So be aware of the systems in place right now. Yeah, just be aware. And if there is something right now in your life that you do not agree with, then you change that perception of that place. Take steps to change whatever it is that is causing a disturbance for you, because you come first. We all come first, because when you come first and you improve yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, when you do that, you are now shining your light so bright that, as I said in another podcast, other people can see that. You are now taking care of yourself. You're making time for yourself. And when we do that, it improves our well-being. We need to always have a balanced, healthy state of well-being. And that requires us making time for ourselves. Now, when my health was declining, I definitely wasn't making time for myself. I had invested in that job like 14-hour days. So about time when I would get off, I would be so exhausted. Just take a shower and get into bed and then get up and do it again. You see what I'm saying? So there was no me in the equation. I was just giving my energy away to that job. And because of that, my health started to decline. Yeah, I started having heart issues and just things was not in balance for me. So when I left that job, everything changed. I mean, like, I don't want to say instantly, but yeah, it most certainly changed for me. And I can just tell you now, I have more joy, I have more energy, I have more happiness, and I'm more balanced because I'm not investing all of myself into something that's not serving me. And that's what I was doing. I was doing it to the extreme, and it was not helping me at all. No, we have to remember that, dear ones, because we are very important for the planet. Every person is. Every person has a part to play on this earth, and we cannot be tired and our energy depleted because we just gave our energy away to something or somebody. So we have to incorporate self-care practices so we can listen within to our own internal guidance that is always guiding us, dear ones. Yes, our internal guidance is always leading us to where we need to be. But when you are in these rigid environments, and when we listen to other people all the time and not listen to ourselves, that is when we fall short. We fall short in life because we're not listening to ourselves. And I know when you're in that rigid environment for like a long period of time, yeah, you actually lose yourself. You do. You lose yourself, and that's why most of us do ask for help, because it's like you don't even know what to do anymore, because you're off balance. That's the reason. You're off balance. Everything is off balance. So you don't know what to do. So we have to make the time for ourselves, because when we shine our light, dear ones, we are most definitely shining it to be our extraordinary self, and we can now breathe. Yes, we have to make the time to pause and inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just like that. I mean, when you do that, you feel better because you are literally balancing all of your energy bodies when you do that. It's very relaxing, and it's a simple practice. And I say this on my podcast a lot. Just pause for a minute and inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Do it as long as you want, because yes, it literally brings back a balance. So dear ones, remember that, because when you remember that, you are remembering yourself. That's what you're doing. You are remembering yourself, dear ones. We have to remember ourselves so we can be our extraordinary self, because we have things to do. We have things to create because we are master creators. So be aware, dear one. Be aware of all the systems in place. Just be aware. Yeah, be aware of the systems in place and change your perception if it's not serving you. Make the necessary changes that's going to help you evolve and to be strong and balanced, because that is what I did. Yes, that is what I did, and I am so grateful that I did, because I don't know what would have happened to me if I stayed there. No. So just remember, dear ones, that you are a master creator, creating every step of the way, and that we have to put ourselves first and add to our lifestyle self-care practices so we can maintain a state of well-being. So enjoy the rest of your day, and remember that the treasure is you. Take care, dear ones, and namaste.